All right, guys, catching back up on Jets news, we're talking Jamison Crowder. There were rumors last week that the Jets could potentially be moving on from their slot wide receiver. So should the Jets cut Jamison Crowder? Jets, Jets! What's up, guys? Welcome to Jets Talk. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. All right, guys, we are talking Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder, our slot receiver, the guy we got just, 2 years ago from the Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins, and he has been our slot receiver for the last 2 seasons. He's going into the last year of his deal, and there's rumors saying that the Jets could potentially be moving on from him to save some salary cap space. Now, what do I think of that? And what did I think when I first saw it? What did this, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, Jamison Crowder has probably been our most consistent weapon on offense for the last 2 years. And the Jets have the third most cap space of any team in the NFL, with weaknesses at wide receiver. So why on earth would you move on from your most productive wide receiver when you have all the cap space in the world just to create a bigger hole at a position of need? This doesn't make sense to me. So let's look at it a little bit closer. Jamison Crowder's 27, 28, somewhere in that range. He's going into the final year of his deal. He's due to be about an $11.3 million cap hit. The Jets could save $10.5 million off their salary cap if they decide to move on from Jamison Crowder. So my initial thought process is this is absolutely crazy, like I just sort of shared. Now, if I'm diving into it a little bit more, can I sort of wrap my head around it? I guess so. So over the cap values last year's season of Jamison Crowder at about $7.9 million when adjusted for injury. So not the same as his $11.3 million cap hit, so you are getting less production than what you're paying him. So I can understand that side of things. People might also like Braxton Berrios. Like, I have no issues if the Jets decide to not bring back Crowder at the end of 2021 and then roll with Berrios pending, obviously how things play out this year and how he progresses as a receiver. I can understand that. I can get my head around that. But going into the last year of his deal, it just seems like it would be premature to do this. Now, there are situations where you could possibly get me to consider moving on from him. Like, if you're saying, okay, we're going to cut Jamison Crowder, who's, I wish I knew his age off the top of my head. I think it's like 28 years old. But if we were to move on from Jamison Crowder, we're going to bring in a 25-year-old Juju Smith-Schuster because over the cap values him at $10.3 million for what he produced last season. So if you're saying $10.3 million for Juju or, 11.3 for, or I guess maybe 10.5 is probably how we should look at it, for Jamison Crowder, I'm probably taking Juju, I guess, if you're asking me that. That would make a lot more sense. But Juju's probably going to be asking for more money than that. He's an elite wide receiver that's going to want to make as much as he can, this season. And I understand that. If you could get him for these valuation numbers, then yeah, sure, maybe I swap Crowder for Juju, and then you just kind of figure out what to do from there. Sam and Juju played together at USC, so if that's your plan, then maybe I guess you do it. But to me, I'm holding on to Jamison Crowder. I'm looking for a wide receiver one, someone like a Kenny Golladay, an Allen Robinson, a Chris Godwin, someone in that mold, a Corey Davis even. I can get my head around a lot of different players, but I'm not particularly fond of moving on from a player that's been productive just to create another hole when we have plenty of cap space to address everything across the board. Now, other potential options, I guess you could look at Curtis Samuel. He feels more like a gadget kind of slot person that could fill in, I guess. I don't know. He could really play a whole bunch of different positions, but I don't know if he's necessarily as good as what Crowder does when compared against the two. So I really like Crowder. I think he's been easily a top 10 slot over the course of his career. And for the Jets to move on from him when they're going into an offense that is going to rely heavily on that type of wide receiver seems like it would be a bad move. So guys, let me know your thoughts on Jamison Crowder down below in the comments. Do you want to keep him? Do you want to save the salary cap space? We could have, over $100 million. Let's just cut everyone. Got us to 2 wins, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And as always, go Jets.